This is the Startups Dil Se podcast. Thank you for tuning in. Do us a favor, subscribe on YouTube or LinkedIn, and be sure to give us your feedback. Hope you enjoy this episode.
Hello everyone, welcome to a brand new episode of Startups Dil Se. This is our February episode and I'm thrilled to welcome Isabella De Rosa from San Francisco to our podcast for this episode. Coincidentally, Isabella and I met a week ago at an event organized by Innovate, which supports Italian startups. We met at a after-event party, if you will. Isabella and I started talking. She had a fun story and I invited her and here she is. So that's super sweet when it happens like this. I mean, and that's the power of Silicon Valley, I guess. So Isabella, welcome to the show. Thanks so much for taking the time to come share your story and your journey.
Thank you so much for having me here, actually. Yeah, within just a week ago. Seems crazy, but things here happen fast, apparently.
I'm guessing, both of us like things to happen fast, right?
Yes.
As a startup founder, I can guess that you move fast and your story says the same thing. So let's jump right in. So Isabella, why don't we just start with what you're doing right now, and then let's go back in your journey, if you will. Tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do as the founder and CEO of the Wing Suite.
Yeah. So I'm Isabella, CEO and founder of Wingsuite. It's been quite a journey. We opened the startup 3 years ago, and I'm a solo founder, so there's a lot that I had to do at first, but the thing I'm most proud of is how I built the team. So right now, even if I'm the only founder, it's always we're a team. I always talk in plural. Yeah, there's a lot of things going on here. Like we're an Italian startup, but we're here in the US. So it's also a big change, a different market, and it's very interesting for us to move here.
Yeah, so what does Wing Suite do exactly, Isabella, for people listening and watching? Can you tell us a little bit about, maybe we can go back in 3 years, like you said. 3 years is a long time in the startup world, right? You've done a lot of digital strategy, digital campaigns. That's how you started your career out of college. Where did you see a need for something like Wing Suite? What made you say, okay, hey, this is a problem and I think I have a solution for it?
Yeah. So as you mentioned, I have a background in marketing and campaigns, and I was running my own marketing agency, and I was talking with other people that were working in promotion agencies in Europe, especially in Italy, and we kind of realized that some things were just a waste of time, that some things that could be easily automated. Like when I talk about campaigns, I'm talking not like digital ads, but promotion, like in-store promotion that goes online. Let's say you as a customer buy something that you can get rewarded out of it with a loyalty program or just a promotion running, also a sweepstakes, these kind of things. So we were like, why every time we get this new request from a brand, we have to do everything from scratches, including the code, including the algorithm. Like there was no sense in a digital world for every project to be like IT involved, UX UI involved, marketing involved. Like there's so much back and forth between different departments and the clients and the agent, freelancer working on it. It didn't make sense. And so we just started talking with other people in the industry, and we realized that we could actually make a platform for that. We saw that there was something already being done afterward, and yeah, that's where the idea started. We kind of saw what they were doing and how we could be better.
Got it. So you said you're a solo founder, right? It always takes courage to let go of your comfort zone and get into the unknown, if you will, as a startup founder. And I think you told me when we met in person that it's bootstrapped. It's still bootstrapped as well, right? That's even more courageous that you're putting your own money into it. And you said it's not just you, it's a we, right?
Yeah.
So what made you realize that you had a convincing idea? Because you need to convince yourself, number one, to go do it. To your point, you did the validation as well, saying, okay, this is going to be worthwhile. So did you have a good network of people to go say, this is what I'm thinking? It's going to bring down the effort. I'm just putting it in terms of effort terms, right? Saying, this takes 30 days to do it, but with Wing Suite, you know what? Somebody can do it in 2 days and your campaign is up and running. So, what sort of validation process did you go through before you stood up something like Wing Suite?
Yeah. So I have to say we were kind of lucky because we already had clients for the agencies, and I started pitching the idea to them, like, if I were to build something like this, would you be interested in even trying it? Like, I will keep the same price no matter if I take like 3 days more to deliver it. From your end, nothing would change. Can I just build it this way? And then everybody was really interested in the idea because like there was already some companies, some platforms trying to do that. And then we like they liked it. And while we were building the product, we kind of went down the path of making until you fake it. So we had the platform, but we didn't have the platform, so we were coding half of it by hand. And well, that's how we actually made it to Bootstrap because we were already having like some kind of revenue selling a product that was us coding it. But it worked. It was fun. But I think the validation just came from the fact that I was working in the industry. I knew people from the industry, and they allowed me to try.
Got it. And just like any startup goes, I mean, a lot of startups go through a lot of pivots as well. You start off with one idea, and the industry is not the same today that it was 2 years. I mean, the industry is moving super fast. I mean, did you also have to pivot a few times in the last 3 years in terms of where you started versus where you are right now?
Yeah. I think like every startup kind of pivots sometimes. We started with a very specific thing, which is contests, online contests, which is sweepstakes, Russian win, spin and win, these kind of things. That in Italy is a huge market since the regulations are so strong. It's the only place on the world. Only like France and Germany are this close. So it was a real market there. It was so complicated to do. They were willing to pay a lot of money to make it work. And then we went outside of Italy and we're like, oh, this is not even a market. So there was like there are platforms that do that for like $50 a month. Like we cannot compete. We charge 5,000. So we're like, okay, this is not the product we need to sell outside of Italy. And we were already doing like loyalty programs together. But the problem with loyalty programs is that almost everybody already has one, or like our target and the brand we work with are usually enterprise level. So we're talking with brands that obviously already have like very, very strong loyalty programs. And we were handling the short promotions for them, so the sweepstakes. But outside of Italy, that was not needed anymore, even. So we're like, okay, what do we like about the product? And then I think we were also lucky here. I don't know if it's timing or something, but we started getting a lot of requests coming from the brand for another kind of incentivization. It was towards internal teams instead of outside customers. So we realized, oh, maybe we can do some sort of contest, some sort of like gamification, but for internals. And that's where we kind of pivoted, and that's what we are doing mostly right now. So it's the B2B, incentivizing the sales team or just the employees. It doesn't have to be like KPIs related to sales, it can be even soft KPIs. And it's a way of kind of give back to your team out of bonuses on top of commission. It's a way of like, well, definitely increases motivation and retention of talents since the job
Yeah.
market is so bad lately. And with AI, like it's really hard to keep a talent, and you want to keep them. It costs you so much, like to change a person, to find a new person, a committed person. So yeah, that's where we are pivoting right now.
That's a great story as well. And I've been in retail and CPG for a long time in my career. I mean, I've worked with PepsiCo, Walmart, and others, and I totally understand how that business works, right? I mean, in the sense, the margins are so thin, right? And they are trying to get two extra customers a day. I mean, it makes a difference for them. I mean, the loyalty is so important, and programs like yours is what gives them back. Aside from the POS data, if you will, right? I mean, the campaigns that run within the stores, whether it's the trade promotions, what do you see inside when you walk into a Walmart or walk into a Safeway, if you will, make such a big difference for them. And that data going back, I'm assuming, through your point on engagement, right? I mean, how are the customers engaging, and how you turn engagement into dollars is a big deal together alongside with the digital ecosystem as well.
We're kind of trying to push it forward. So the vision for that will be to actually match the whole loyalty program and promotion with the B2B sides. So on store with the POS systems, we can match whoever is the clerk doing the sales and the person that is buying, and then they will get rewarded, both the person buying but also the salesperson. The manager can track exactly how much one person is making to the company, and like if they give them even 1% is still more, and then kind of it's a good game because like the person then doesn't want to leave, because every time the person he is connected to goes back and buys, he will make commissions on that. It could be not only money, it could be anything, and then he will stop getting commissions, so this kind of passive income if he changes job.
100%. I mean, I'm sure you saw this news as well, right? I mean, PepsiCo, I think it was this week or last week, they dropped their prices by 15% because they were losing to the in-store brands, if you
Mm.
will. And to your point, I mean, you collect all that data. The data that you're collecting and tying it back to the sales guys and the customers, that data is like gold, right? I mean, especially in the AI world, I mean, people would kill to have that data to see what you can do with it. I'm sure you have a strategy to put that to good use as well within Wingsuite.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean the data are really important right now, and making sure that you can give a very granular overview of each sense where it goes. It's really helpful, and also obviously we gather data about like the people, what they buy, what they like, what they don't. So also these kind of data are really important, and if you match it with the whole like sales and teams data, then it's a very powerful overview that you have there.
Perfect. So I'm going to switch gears a little bit, Isabella, and ask you about you as starting off your career 7 years ago, being a, say, a sort of an individual contributor to becoming a boss, becoming a founder, becoming a CEO, right? How has that journey been for you, and how have you matured and changed as a person? Looking at, I mean, now you have to pay several people on your team, so the decisions you make impact so many people as well, right? Talk to me a little bit about that
Yeah.
journey and what has been that for you.
Well, yeah, it's a lot of responsibilities, but I think I've always wanted to do this somehow. Like after I graduated, I moved to Amsterdam in the Netherlands, and I wanted to work as a freelancer because I like to travel, I like my freedom. And then I was growing so much, so fast that I had to open a company there. And that was completely unexpected, and I was unexperienced. And I mean, in 2 years, I got completely burnt out. So I had to take a step back, but I enjoyed the journey. It's just like maybe I was not ready. So I took a step back, like 12 months off, and then I came back to Italy and opened the startup. And I think I you learn from your mistakes. So my main mistake was that I was feeling very alone in my journey, as like all my team was remote in the digital agency, and I had no one I could actually talk with, and like there was no ecosystem for people working remotely. It was like a very, oh, it's 2020 anyways. So when I opened the startup, I wanted to have a strong team that I can rely on. And so yeah, I have a lot of responsibilities of paying salary, but at the same time they give me back so much in terms of um how I feel, how I can like handle situations, because I know they have my back and they believe in me, and that makes all the difference in the world, really.
Very nice. So you studied in Italy, you moved to Amsterdam. How was your journey coming into what brought you to Silicon Valley?
Well, I mean, I've always wanted to come here. I've been many times to the US, but mainly for fun and travel. We had the CES in Vegas early January, so I was just like, I'll tag along and stay in stay in San Francisco a little more. And now I'm ended up staying a lot more than expected. I'm happy about it though. And I like it. I mean, my problem in Italy is that we don't really have a startup ecosystem. So there's not really someone you can talk with. And you come here and then you just go to a random bar and see everybody working, and the conversation you hear and the networking events you attend, like it's people that can actually teach me something and I can learn, and I it's and everybody's so nice to each other, very open to give back and help. And yeah, I'm loving it. Really, it's been very inspiring.
A dash of Italian stubbornness, right?
Yeah.
So, how has that kind of helped or hurt you in this journey as a founder?
That's a good question. I think some of my decisions as a CEO can be questionable from my team's point of view and also clients' point of view, but I have the vision to where I want Wingsuite to go, and I'm not willing to compromise on it. So even sometimes I make very hard decisions, and yeah, even if I try to explain it, they're not welcomed or not, they're not understood. I will still go on my way. Sometimes they're good, sometimes they're not. But I think this is kind of, I think the main one is the fact that we are bootstrapped. So many times we have to turn down investors. It happens. It's not because we don't want investors, but we are maybe like really, really right fit. We are open to the idea, but sometimes when we get close and we start discussing and we like the person, we like the way they work, there's maybe something off. I will call it off immediately, and so that's maybe I might be called stubborn from some people.
So, talk to me a little bit about, just your journey as a founder. I mean, a lot of people have that itch, if you will, to say, okay, you know what, corporate job is not for me. I want to be my own boss and I want to be solving problems in this world, sort of thing. Right? Growing up, Isabella, I mean, was anybody else in your family that you looked up to, that you were inspired by, that you were like, oh, you know what, this is what I want to be doing? Any childhood inspirations for you? Any friends or family?
Yeah, that's a good question. So, oh, I never thought I wanted to work corporate. Like, not even, it was not even in the cards for me. I tried for 1 month and then I got so bored that I was like, I really can't do this. Like, I was finishing my task in 2 hours and then I had 6 hours to stare at my laptop. I was like, what I'm gonna do with the free time. But, anyways, my dad also is an entrepreneur. He has a digital agency in Milan, and my mom is an actress. So I've always been surrounded by people that have like not ordinary jobs. I think the main take from my dad's story is that I didn't want to work like so much as he did, and I wanted to do things more efficiently. So it's always been very helpful to me, like seeing his process. He also has been always very supportive, so he was making me join like important tables when I was younger, make me part of the decision making, showing me the process, and that kind of helped me decide, okay, I can optimize that. I don't want that in my company, or I will take that. Also, my brother is an entrepreneur, so I guess it runs in the blood. I don't know.
So it's in your blood, short
Yeah,
answer is
apparently.
that's very nice. And so, given your Italian roots, and you kind of give the contrast about Silicon Valley versus Milan, obviously, you figured out a niche in Italy itself. I mean, and I, for one, have not been to Italy. It's on my list to go there this year, fingers crossed. Talk to us maybe a little bit about the ecosystem there in Italy. Obviously, people love to tour Italy, but I mean, people know very little about the startup ecosystem, what the government is doing. What I was super impressed with that Innovate event last week, and all the startups and the support that the government is giving, and the connection with Silicon Valley. Maybe given your experience, what do you like, and what do you wish they did more to help future and entrepreneurs like you?
Yeah. I think it's not a bad ecosystem. It's just not grown to a stage yet where you can feel supported. So it's growing. We have startups. We have also unicorns. We do have some, but for example, we don't really have VCs. We have some, but it's like the funding is small compared to the old startups that we have. That it's not even thinkable. So I think there's a lot to work on in terms of how startups can be helped, especially like in the early stages. The Italian way of thinking is probably very, very different from the America. In America, here you I will help you grow so we can both grow together. And in Italy, it's more like a traditional way. So if I help you to grow, then you will need to pay me for that. So that doesn't really work with a startup because you don't have the funding and you don't have you can't sustain it. So you're bound to, yeah, break at some point. I think that that's the main problem. But things are, I mean, things are growing, and hopefully, like in 10 years, we will have like a nicer ecosystem. I think Inuit, when we met, this is supported by Italian government, and they're doing an amazing job with export. Italian trade agency. I mean, I found out that they have so many accessible things. I keep being in contact with them. They're great. So they sponsor you if you want to go to a trade show. I just participated with the Global Startup Program. That is a program run every year, and it's a accelerator program in six big cities in the world, and it's completely paid by Italy. Like they are doing a lot for export, and for that I'm very grateful. But maybe not only we need to export, but like kind of help like in the very early stage when we start out.
Got it, got it. I mean, again, every ecosystem is unique, and it's good to learn about the Italian way of thinking. And everybody is good at something, and probably not great at something. But I mean, you are a great example of what that system has nurtured. But you've blossomed within that system, and now you're showing the world what can be done through that Italian system as well,
Hopefully.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So we live in 2026. There's no, I mean, I'm sure you saw all over the Bay Area as well, Isabella. Every billboard says AI. And would you call Wink Suite an AI native platform?
Okay, that's a tricky question, meaning that we have AI in our platform. Obviously, you can build campaigns with AI in our platform. You can see the data, have a forecast of data with AI. There's a lot you can do with AI, but we don't really sponsor it because like it's not the core of the product. So the product is built from a real need. So it's built on something that is missing in the market, and that's why people are buying our product. The fact that it's enhanced, then it's just in 2026, as you said, it's just something you cannot leave behind. So that's the basic. I don't think that we will market our platform ever as an AI native first platform because that's just not the problem we're solving.
I love that, Isabella, because I'm in consulting. Technology is a big part of my day-to-day life. As much as I mean, there's AI all around us. I mean, we're still not at that point where I mean it can do as much as people are advertising. I mean, I still like a human element, a human touch to it, and combine it with AI. I think you get the best of both worlds. I mean, at least that's just me. I mean, I'm glad you're
I agree.
right? So I'm glad you're looking at it through that way. I mean, even yesterday, I was in some demos looking at an AI technology doing an end-to-end marketing platform or a marketing campaign by itself, a
Okay.
click 1 to 10, but you just don't feel that human touch in it. I mean, you're not fully pulled into that, as a consumer. And to your point, what do you need to put in the store or a campaign or, engagement, which translates to that. I mean, I'm not sure. Yes, it's cool for you to look at AI doing that without a human touch or a click of a button, if you will. But does that excite me to go buy that next big product? Maybe not. I mean, all I will say is, "Oh, look, AI did that," and I will move on. At least
Yeah,
that's where my head is at.
I agree.
So I like where at least your stance on it right now. I mean, and like we talked about pivots, right? I mean, you might pivot later on, right? I mean, as the world
Yeah.
changes, you never know. But thanks for sharing that.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
So,
maybe 2 years, things are gonna be completely different. So we're gonna have the same conversation, but with different answers. I don't know yet.
yeah, yeah. So the other question I'm probably sure others have asked you, Isabella, is I mean, I've always heard this, I wouldn't call it discrimination, but I mean, there are statistics about, women-led companies not getting enough funding, even in Silicon Valley and in the US, And as a woman founder, I mean, have you faced any of that in the market when you go talk to business leaders, and what is your message, if you will, to other founders, if you will, based off of that feedback that you've heard?
Yeah, so as much as we wish that there's no such thing as discrimination in gender, but there is, well, often whenever I'm in a networking event or anywhere, I'm one of the few female founders. Like this, yeah, maybe I'm the only woman in the room sometimes. So there is definitely a bias. But well, first of all, I don't let it affect myself. Also, because when you start talking with people, that there might be a sort of prejudice, even if they don't know it, even if it's unconscious. But in the end, then if your product is good and your offering is good, and I'm a very honest person when I talk about the product and what we can achieve for the brand. If there's good, then it doesn't matter anymore. From the second time we meet, like it doesn't really matter. Maybe there's still something to work on, but in the end, I hope we are all going towards a better direction for that. I don't know about VC and funding because as I said, we are bootstrap and usually are the investors coming our way. But it happens. Well, sometimes it's fun, like when you're all on the call and I'm the last person to refer to, not knowing I'm the CEO. That I think it is fun. Well, in Italy, obviously, we're a bit behind in this kind of thing, so it's more biased. But other than that, I don't let it affect me too much. And, my advice would be just go on, and if your product is good, nobody will stop
Yeah,
you.
yeah. I mean, well said, Isabella. I mean, in the world we live in, I mean, that should be the last thing on people's mind. But like you said, it does exist, right? I mean, the numbers say that, and I've seen people impacted by it. So more power to you and your team, Isabella, and go rock the world. So I've exhausted all my questions that I wanted to ask you, Isabella. Any message for upcoming founders and people who want to run their own company? Anything from your experience you want to share?
Yeah. So definitely brace yourself for a roller coaster of a journey. The highs are really high, but the lows are really low. And no, I think the main thing that is something that for me is very clear every single day is that the team is the most important asset that you have. So build that wisely. Treat people wisely. Like be good with people and be honest and don't like with a good relationship. Like make them work on something they like and they believe in, but they need first to believe in you and support you as a founder, as a person. And that's really where I get all my motivation from some days when I look at things, I'm like, oh, there's no way we're making it. And then they were like, oh yeah, we can make anything. And I'm like, okay, if you say that, then I will believe it. And I think our motto is break everything but wink. And whenever I forget about that, yeah. So,
I love it. I love it. I love your story. I love your passion and how much you love your team. You'll have two supporters. I mean, Startups Dil Se and myself supporting Wingsuite and your team. So, three cheers for you. All the best. And thanks so much for taking the time today, Isabella. Pleasure talking to you.
yeah, lovely. Thank you so much. Enjoy your day and hopefully we meet soon.
Likewise. You take care.
Yeah. Bye bye.
Bye.